shoulder, but he's not thought to be seriously hurt. A large amount of cash has been recovered.
At 4:30 this afternoon, a Brinks Allied van was en route from Dalkey to Bray in County Wicklow when it was ambushed by 2 lorries. One of the lorries, reinforced by steel girders, rammed the van, and a gang of masked men carrying AK-47 assault rifles hauled out bags of cash, loading them into a waiting black Ford Granada. The gang then made off, but in a bizarre twist their getaway car broke down and they were forced to push it down a neighbouring road. At this point, the raiders, in desperation, hijacked a passing red Saab 900. According to eyewitnesses, the couple in their early 30s who occupied the car initially refused to stop, but one of the raiders fired a shot through the back window, injuring the male driver in the shoulder. He was taken to hospital but is not thought to be in a serious condition. The gang then escaped in the Saab, but they left an estimated £40,000 in their original getaway car.
Well, I saw a car whiz past me and I heard a few bangs when it stopped, and I think it crashed, I'm not sure. But there was glass on the road when I walked by.
Members of the Garda Emergency Response Unit are still hunting for the armed gang tonight. The last incident of its kind happened in Wicklow last summer when Gardaí shot dead real IRA member Ronan McLaughlin during a raid on a Securicor van. Gardaí have not yet said whether this was a criminal or subversive operation, but given the level of the firepower used and the recent speculation that members of the real IRA had joined forces with the Continuity IRA, still not on ceasefire, there is a distinct possibility that this may have been a paramilitary operation. Tony Connolly, RTE News, Dalkey.
The euro has made a firm debut on the foreign exchange markets. The new currency for nearly 300 million Europeans was driven higher against the dollar and yen before falling back slightly in cautious trading. The smooth introduction of the new currency has given a strong boost to European stock markets.
The dawn of a new era for the financial world and literally for the staff of the central bank, who began to arrive at their desks at 3 o'clock this morning. The moment they've been preparing for the last 18 months was about to become reality. At 6 a.m. Irish time, the new computer systems of 15 central banks across Europe kicked into action and the euro became an active currency. For those who've been working around the clock since New Year's Eve, a quiet sense of relief. Until now, transactions between central banks around Europe were cumbersome, with complicated currency exchanges which could create long delays in doing business. The euro will now simplify this process and speed it up, with billions of euros exchanged in any one day, starting today.
For the first time, we were able to move euro cross-border. Within the first few seconds of our opening, which was 6 a.m, we moved almost 700 million euro. So it's a very significant event.
Around the corner at the Irish Stock Exchange, the euro had replaced the Irish pound when trading began at 9:30. From today, hundreds of thousands of small Irish investors will see their shares quoted in euros for the first time. On the international money markets from Tokyo to Wall Street, the first day of trading in the euro was quiet and cautious, unlike the celebrations, like these ones in Paris. But Amsterdam saw the first euro outrage with a custard pie attack on the Dutch finance minister. A group calling itself TART says the euro is the most megalomaniac, anti-democratic project of the century. But it's here to stay, and though we won't have euros in our pockets for another 3 years, over the coming weeks the euro symbol will begin to make its presence felt.
You'll see it on your lotto ticket, you'll see it on your telecom air and phone bill, you'll see it later in the year on your ESB and gas bills, you'll see it on the tax-free allowance cert that over 1 million people will be getting in the at the end of February and in March.
It's been 1700 years since the Romans tried to impose a single currency throughout Europe. As of 6 o'clock this morning, it's finally a reality. Flora McCarthy, RTE News at the Stock Exchange in Dublin.
It all went remarkably smoothly today, with trading on the London stock market relatively subdued. All attention was focused on currency movements. The euro's value against sterling rose slightly, although analysts warn that too much should not be read into these early exchanges. They predict volatility in the value of sterling over the coming weeks.
Well, we anticipate that sterling is going to ease. We feel little expectation that interest rates in this country are going to stay at their current level. The rates won't come down later this week. They will, of course, come down over 1999. That will remove a major prop from sterling. There are already some signs, even in early trading, that sterling is going to weaken against the euro.
The Bank of England, which had coordinated London's conversion preparations over the weekend, has been breathing a sigh of relief. The city here is anxious that it should retain its position as a premier global financial centre in the face of the threat from Frankfurt. Although trading in the euro here has been relatively quiet today, the fact that it is even happening at all is in itself a major milestone. And as the impact of the single currency makes itself felt on the way Britain conducts its business, that in turn will exert political pressure on Tony Blair to hold an early referendum on UK entry to EMU. But British Treasury Minister Patricia Hewitt was today suggesting that any EMU referendum was still unlikely to happen before the next British general election. Monetary union with Europe may still be unpopular with many British voters, but a weakening in the strong value of sterling by between 5 and 10% would be welcome news to hard-pressed British exporters. Brian O'Connell, RTE News in the City of London.
One person has been killed and 2 more seriously injured in a car accident near Milltown Pass in County Westmeath. The accident happened on the main Dublin to Galway road just before 4 o'clock when 2 cars were involved in a head-on collision. Tonight, an 11-year-old girl who was a passenger in one of the cars has been transferred to Beaumont Hospital in Dublin. She's said to be in a critical condition.